we are right on time.
Yeah.
We arrive exactly when we intend to. No, I want to thank everybody for being here. Apologies for the delay. There were some completely non-Sony related issues in connecting. I can hear the fan on that laptop going nuts right now. So it's, yeah, it was an adventure, but thank you all for being here.
Yeah.
My name is Derek. This is...
I am Larry. How you doing? For the record, that was better. It was better. It was better. You know that was better. Was it? Was it not?
And I'm Derek from Sony.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
No, but wait a minute. But I have to give shout out to John though, right?
Yeah.
His mic is probably muted because he never
mutes.
But the amount of work he put in.
It's because I don't want anyone to hear the fans.
He doesn't want you guys to hear our reinforcements and fans. Anyway, the amount of work he did put in to try to get this happening, like the commitment to everyone, we want to make sure that we can get it done, was pretty cool. So anyway, shout out to you, John. Round of applause.
Yes.
Round of applause for John. That's my guy.
Good job.
All right, cool.
What you, I thought you said, oh, we got another issue.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So anyway, here's the deal. If you're new here, welcome. Glad to have you here. What are we doing here? What are we all about? Ultimately, we are just here to listen and offer some support if we can when it comes to anything Sony related, non-PlayStation.
Yeah.
We don't cover this side, but we'll still listen and we can pass that information on to smarter people.
Yes.
So if you guys have any questions, please let us know in the comments. We do have 2 guests tonight.
What's better than one guest?
2 of them. Yes.
Yes.
So we're going to cut away at some point. We're going to jump over to another section where we're going to have some awesome people to talk to.
Yes.
Some different perspectives as well.
Okay.
Entertainment and brains.
That first of all, powerful
Between
combination.
both of them.
Yeah. Real quick, so you got brains and entertainment. If they decided to play a game of pickleball, who do you think would win?
Why do we have to put some gamification on this?
Well, I'm just asking. Well, we don't have to.
No.
Okay.
I'm actually very interested to see some really good perspectives from both of these awesome gentlemen. I got to look it over there to find out where we're at. But yeah, we have a fantastic creator. What?
Sorry.
What's he doing?
He's bouncing you all over the place.
Oh, okay. I don't know where we are. But
great.
a fantastic creator that we had earlier on our channel. If you saw that, great. Fantastic entertainer.
We begged him to stay.
All around great dude. Great perspective to have somebody who is not from the Sony family, even though we still can consider him part of the family. And then we also have a new addition, a new role that somebody has joined that has been on some of our lives before in the past, way back in the day. He's questioned that. That'll be joining us. So there'll be some great questions. So Will, get your questions ready.
Get them ready. Get them ready. I love it. Look, there's Joey B. They're trying to figure out who's taller between you and I. But I love the fact that Joey B says not including your hair. I appreciate that, Joey.
My hair is disqualified. That hurts. It hurts.
No, well, clearly, my hair is disqualified.
Well, your genes disqualified it from your body. Like, okay.
Yeah. All right. Sorry.
Wow, we're not getting anywhere in this one. All right, so
let's do this.
Big Phil is back. Nice that the stream isn't happening while I'm not at that it is happening while he's not at work. Good to see you. Yeah, thanks for joining us again. It's been a couple of times.
Yeah.
Audio Boy 2024. Hello, welcome. I haven't seen you on here, so awesome to have you back as well. Joey B. Heyo, welcome back, and Heaven Leah.
Yeah, thanks for
Aaliyah.
Thanks
for stand up.
Thanks for
Test
joining
this,
earlier.
Height difference? Nah, we don't need to do that. We do have to get up shortly.
Yeah.
Eventually to go over to another little set.
This is
But
true.
yeah, let us know in the comments whatever we can do for you. Hopefully we answered some of those that came in so far. But again, we want to hear what's going on. What are you guys hoping for to, as we go into the new year from Sony? I'd like to kind of see what are your hopes and dreams for future product. You know, I don't really know anything that's happening. And again, I know CES has been coming up week after week.
You're lying.
It has. You were there. You saw it happen.
Oh, I know. But you know,
But I was just going to add that
you know product that's coming out. Sorry.
That's how we get started.
Your show, Larry.
Listen, earlier today, Derek was sitting in a meeting, and this product team, it was so awesome. They put a bunch of new products on a table, and Derek got the whole breakdown on it. And I said, Derek, it'd be great if you give the people kind of a preview of what you know. And Derek just felt like you guys didn't deserve to know, and I think it's terrible of you. You ready to come back? He's mean mugging me right now. I don't know which camera should I be looking at right now. You're zoned in on Derek, because you should be. No, I'm really kidding. I just like trying to give Derek a hard time. We don't know. We hear something. We do hear some things early. Yeah. Obviously, we can't share it because otherwise we wouldn't be here anymore. That's facts.
Clipped real fast. But we are definitely going to be the ones that want to share anything and everything we can as soon as we are allowed to. Some very cool projects that we are going to be working on that you guys will see in the far future at this point. But stay with us, and you'll get a chance to see that. So what are we missing?
We got some questions.
What do we got?
Can I take I'll take the first two.
Okay.
All right.
You may.
Michael Beckerman. What's up?
Good to see you back.
Yeah. So Michael Beckerman says it's being reported that some high-end movie theaters are now switching over to video walls for their screens. Any idea if the Sony Alamo theaters will be switching to Sony video walls at all?
Ooh, that'd be
so
awesome.
Big shout out to that acquisition, right? As someone that's been to an Alamo draft house, hopefully I can still say that it's good that we made that acquisition, because it sort of solidifies our link from what we do on
from
studios.
A consumer perspective.
I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
I actually I've been to a movie theater that does have a video wall and that integration. We don't know the answer to it. Are we capable of it with our technology, with our CLED TV? Yeah, clearly we're capable of it.
Yeah, we've seen some of them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and Michael, I know you've seen it when you were in at CEDIA this year and last year. So I don't know if that's in the cards for the division that's owning that, but it would be nice to see. I think consumers would love that. So that's a great question. All right. Vedant, I love it. Can we have A95L as center channel without turning on without any picture while using Bluetooth and AirPlay? Please, please add Chromecast, because it uses Phantom Center with AirPlay. That's a lot to unpack there.
It is. Vedant's got good questions too.
Yeah. So Vedant, I want to stick a pin in that, because I think JT could probably give it. I'm going to give the simplified Larry version.
That's our special guest, by the way. Thanks for ruining it.
Is that what I did?
It's one of them. Yes. You just said the name. Trying to make it special. Now it's not special. Sorry.
It's easier to pronounce JT than it is Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. I struggle. See what I mean? So it's just easier to say JT. Anyway, one thing you can always do is use the pick-off feature. I know that's kind of a silly concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can, if you AirPlay to the TV, or if you're casting to the TV, whatever it is, or to the sound system, you always have the ability to use pick-off, and then the screen is turned off, and then you can still get the audio experience.
I actually do that a lot myself, and depending on the app and how you're actually doing it, a music app that I use actually allows me to sort of control what I'm doing.
What app is that?
It's one that I use.
Sorry.
The one that I use that I can't say the name of, because we have no favorites here aside from Sony. Why you gotta be so serious?
You can say Spotify.
Man.
Say Spotify.
Color bars. No.
That's what you use.
It is what I use, yes. But it allows me to actually send it directly to the TV, and actually I can turn the picture off, and I can still skip the track or choose whatever I want to do without actually having the TV on. I actually do that a lot in my office.
Yep.
But that is a good question, because a lot of people aren't aware of that feature. That was one of the early did you knows that we did.
You're right.
Was that pick off is a feature.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know, and I know sometimes people are like, well, how do I get out of it? Press the back button and or I think enter as well, and that'll get out of that. So saw this question. Tommy Thomas. Hey everyone, this is your first time here. Well, you are welcome to be here. Thanks for joining us. Why did Sony discontinue the blue color in the XB100 Bluetooth speaker line? So
it's actually a good question.
It depends. Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
Some colors are at certain retailers. Mm-hmm. So I did a quick little search, and it does look like it is available at a certain retailer. So I would suggest doing a quick Google search if it's the blue that you're thinking of.
Can you?
Can I? Yeah. Because that's a gray area, because we love all of our retail partners. We love all of them equally. So,
yes.
But I would suggest doing a quick Google search online. hopefully you'll find what you're looking for. If not, let us know, because otherwise, as far as why they choose to discontinue a particular color, usually there is a reason for that. I can only speculate, which I can't really do, but I would assume it's usually something with cost of production or sales numbers or something like that. And we were actually talking about colors of speakers
today. Yeah, we were
today, and getting some great insight from a great mind that's sitting over there, another special guest we have. And that is something that is important to a lot of people, but it is challenging because everybody has a little bit of a, man, I wish I had this fuchsia magenta merging of colors, and somebody's like, no, I'd never buy that. I want something that's chartreuse.
That's a nice
with
color.
a mix of periwinkle blue.
Periwinkle. Oh,
you know, I don't know. Whatever it happens to be.
I know a cartoon you watched when you were younger.
What?
Never mind. Keep going.
Well played. I don't know. I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but okay. Carrying on. All right. Let's see.
Sorry. We're in rare form
where are we at?
Theodore Robb. What happened to picture-in-picture on television? So, I'm going to answer this two ways. First of all, don't know. Okay, that's the first thing.
That's a good place to start.
We've sort of we worked on building our TVs, I think, more catered to the lifestyle of the individuals in different use cases, right? So when you think about our more recent lineup of TVs, and we're talking about multi-view, we understand that dual screen experience is largely right now for those individuals that are taking advantage of gaming and then plus YouTube search features, right? So of course, multi-view is a feature that was highly anticipated and waited for patiently, right? It's finally rolled out, I believe, to all of the TVs that will support it right now. But we have often asked that question. I myself, not throwing the engineers under the bus, I just asked yesterday, when will we get to a point where we can take that same multi-view and have either dual input or even multiple app based, right? So I don't know if there's licensing limitations or whatever.
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure, but you know, we'll ask, because I understand that's probably Theodore why you're asking that question, but it would be dope. So hopefully it gets there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see in the future. Just real quick, Big Phil just made a comment about seeing the Did You Know video that I was talking about with the picture off.
Yes.
And it got me thinking. We haven't done a Did You Know video short in a long time.
We haven't.
We have a lot going on, but you know, I'd be interested, because we have a great crowd of very detail-oriented Sony people in here in the comments. If you are interested, share with us in the comments that one feature they're like, nobody knows this thing, that maybe we could help share out, because I think we need to get back into it, because
I agree.
They're quick, they're simple.
You know what happened to Did You Know? It went mainstream.
It did.
I'm not gonna lie.
It did.
It went
we
mainstream.
did have some some great partners that kind of took some of it.
We were doing Did You Knows, and no one knew that we were doing them, and we just went wild west on them, and all of a sudden, you know,
that's okay.
Visit your favorite retail store that might have 5 TVs on a wall. Push the touchpad, and you'll see a few Did You Knows on there that might be of interest to you.
There you go.
Or why some?
Yeah, why some?
Did you know that Sony has Did You Knows?
We should do a Did You Know that Sony has Did You Know.
There you go.
That's great. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Awesome.
So
all right, let's kind of catch up on some of these, and then actually we may want to
jump over there, especially if this is,
because it is getting late as well, because we started late. Again, apologies for that. And those of you who are just joining us as well, just a quick, just to remind you all, if you have questions, let us know in the comments. We also do have the email as well. So John, I'm sure we'll probably put that somewhere so you can do that. I think he's working on it. He looks like I see the wheels turning over there in determination. But let us know, especially if we don't answer your question. We're going to do our best. Sometimes we do miss stuff in some of the comments. We do apologize, but let us know and reach out to us, and we'll do our best to answer you in the best way we can.
Sure.
Pinned in the chat. That's what I was told.
Nice. Yep.
There it is. I see it.
EG, thank you for contributing to the answers in there as well. Thank you, man.
Nice. Let's see. What do we got? Where we
Michael Beckerman has, I'm just skimming now, is the Sony Party Connect feature found in our wireless speakers, for those that have never heard of that, which allows you to connect up to 100 speakers that are compatible, just for the plug on that feature. Is the Sony Party Connect feature a form of the Bluetooth Auracast technology, or is that something else? They seem really similar. So it's a great question. Is it? I mean, it's not at all.
No, it's not Auracast. It's our own technology.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Auracast depends on BTLE, right? Like it's the basis of it. So it's our proprietary.
I was going to say Auracast is almost a broadcast.
Yes.
Whereas we're pairing speakers.
talking about did you know is the crazy thing. We laughed at that earlier. I showed our second, I won't say his name. I showed our second special guest. I did a did you know on a crazy thing I found on my Xperia 1 Mark V. That had broadcast feature on there. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but did you know it was there, kind of a thing. And sure enough, that evolved into Auracast, which was dope. So anyway, let's see. What else? What do you got? That was awkward silence, by the way. You were supposed to jump right in with something. Never mind.
I was reading something.
Okay, it's okay. Victor Mora, gents, just wanted to update y'all on the issue I had with my Link Buds and their untimely death. Well said. When I made the initial call, I was pretty much stonewall, and then I had to tell them about Sony after hours support. Then they sent then the whole mood changed. Had it not been for you all, I'd be buying some gas station buds out of anger. Thanks, y'all. That Victor, I'm glad that we could help and play some small part in that. That's part of what we're here for, is to make sure that you guys don't have to buy gas station earbuds.
Yeah, gas station earbuds. I don't even know what that is, but I don't want to know.
Apparently, they come in an assortment of colors because they're $5.99. So
well, I mean, I guess I see that in that moment that I need this now kind of a thing. So,
AV Techman 77. I haven't read it, but AV Techman 77. When will they be adding the IMAX signature sound to the Sony Pictures Core app on the PlayStation 5?
Oh boy!
To my knowledge, Dolby Atmos and DTS are competing companies. Well,
I mean, that's not wrong.
That's definitely not
true.
wrong.
That is true. They are competing.
I don't know if we have any insight on that, but we'll stick a pin in that one because that's a great question. Even if, well, I've already said his name. Even if one of our special guests doesn't have the answer, it's a great person to bring that up to, because then he can have conversations that may lead to answers that we can provide in the future show.
Yeah, and there are some differences with what the PlayStation 5 can do, and we aren't part of the PlayStation side. They're sort of a separate part of the building within Sony. Yeah. And I wish we had some of those answers, but we will try to get answers to any of those questions as well, as much as we can. There was a question Malcolm had here too, speaking of PlayStation.
Are you looking for that one? You want me to fill one in?
Yeah, go ahead.
EG, I love when people ask this question. EG says, you guys, camera resolution is crisp. What cameras are you using for your channel? I appreciate that question. We are currently using 3 FX3s for our primary feed here right now. Well, for our feed right now. What lenses are we using?
24 to 105.
24 to 105, right? G.
Yep.
Yeah, so lenses aren't, that lens is not a really expensive lens. So maybe that's just the power of the FX3. It's awesome. It's part of our cinema line of cameras. We use it for live stream for multiple reasons. Just, kind of keeping it real, because I like to talk a lot. Our live stream goes a lot longer than the intended 30 minutes. So we needed to have a quality Sony camera that definitely would not overheat and could take the long-winded versions of myself, because it happens.
Yeah, I would add too that that's our current situation. Mentioning the channel, a lot of the stuff that we film with at home, we do have a lot of our team that is across the U.S. and parts of Canada creating content for us, which is awesome. And then we are on some Alpha 7Cs and Alpha 7 4s. Is typically, and lenses do vary.
And some ZV1s also. There's some ZV1s for second cameras and B-roll.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
It's, and we are expanding some of our new live presentations, and some of those folks are going to have ZV-E1s as well. So
I actually want an E1.
I do too.
Just so they can follow,
the auto
what is that called?
Auto framing.
Yeah,
is awesome. That's such a cool feature.
Yes.
To go back to Malcolm's question here really quick, I have another, I guess, sort of a suggestion, but maybe we can kind of talk about it a little bit. I have 2 Sony TVs in my living room with 2 PS5s hooked up for my wife and I. That's awesome. I'm a little jealous of that situation.
It's kind of a flex, too.
It is. Remote control function is an issue. Understandable. Bluetooth helps, but not ... leading to the rest for power. Would like to see a frequency option for these scenarios. Now, I could imagine, obviously, with the newer TVs with the Bravia Connect app, would allow to control a specific TV. I don't know if there's a way to
It does.
do that otherwise without getting the right angle or going up there and blocking part of the IR receiver. I'm sorry, who?
Control system.
Oh, control systems? Yeah, there are control systems. It might be more than what you're looking to do, but if you want it to work that way, that could be something.
In Bravia Connect app, I'm going to plug Bravia Connect app. It's the recent update to it has made it very simple to toggle between the different devices. Now I think you can just swipe up, and then it'll say choose which device you'd like to control. Which before that wasn't a thing. You have to kind of back all the way out of it. So that was a nice little thing. All right. Anyway. All right.
Yeah. I think this is a good opportunity for us to switch over. So we are going to switch over to introduce our guests and chat over there.
Yep.
I got to remember to bring my laptop. So John, you ready for that?
Yep.
Special guests.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Here we go.
Let's go.
Oh, are we on?
I think we are. Yeah.
I'm gonna hope so, because I see you. Okay, welcome back. 10 seconds, 15 seconds. We have some awesome guests. We're gonna start with the most important one, right next to me. The honor.
Okay.
Hey. Oh, who is this? Oh, JT Fix It. We'll get to JT. Antoine, thank you for joining us.
The champ is here. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
I love that. I love that.
Sorry.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. I hope you had a limiter on that, John. Go ahead,
Yeah, hopefully. So Antoine here is a fantastic creator that we brought in today to hang out with us. Did a live earlier on our channel with Karina, who's sitting back there hanging out. She says hi to everybody. Still gaming. That's how she does it. But yeah, it was awesome to have you here and kind of offer some perspective specifically today. We did talk about a lot of things, we talked to some speaker people and get your feedback on what you've experienced, which is awesome to have. And I want to thank you for being here and offering some of that insight on some of the products, because this is something we want to grow and do more of, is really engage. That's kind of part of what we do here, at least virtually, for those of you who wouldn't have the opportunity to get out here to still talk to us and offer those suggestions. But that said, New Stuff TV is just one of the channels, right?
Yeah,
There's two. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
on the channel?
Yeah.
Well, there's New Stuff TV, and then there's New Stuff TV 2.
Oh, wow. There you
I want
go.
to make it complicated for you guys.
That's right.
So New Stuff TV has evolved into what it is. It started with me just picked up a camera, started doing short reviews about the tech that I liked and enjoyed in my personal life, and it just kind of evolved. And one of my passions is home theater now. So
Okay. Thank you.
pinch wire.
Grab the wire. Sorry about that. Yeah, we'll see. All right. There we go. We're good? Okay. All right.
Uh-oh. I think we might.
I would just unplug it and hold it again. Probably be the better option.
We're working on it. Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's what happened.
Your
Okay.
mic is low.
Y'all gave me this raggedy mic, man. I thought I was a special guest. Dude, look at this. This limp mic antenna.
We wanted to see how you handle pressure.
Dude, there's no pressure here. This is limp. This is flaccid. Can I say that?
Yes.
Look how that just came out.
I can't, but you can.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So
It is after hours.
it is after. It's truly after hours. They just turned off the lights outside. It's dark out there. Everybody's going home. I thought when we saw this stuff, it was just like maybe pre-recorded or like during the daytime.
We're
No,
legit after
it's
hours.
after hours. After hours.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. So thank you for being here. Of course, if you hear some things and want to bring up some conversations, let's just add it to it. But we really appreciate the perspective of the content that you make, and since you're here too, obviously, if you want to check out his content, absolutely welcome to. Very entertaining, very informative as well. But appreciate you being here.
Yep.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks for being here.
And then of course at the end,
Yeah, over here to my left, of course, is okay, here it is. This is Mr. JT, no last names, right? JT is a, I got you. I got it. All right. He's a technology manager. That's it, right?
Yep.
Okay. Which means, like, seriously, first of all, I think it's a very understated title. Okay. I once joked, you guys, I don't know how long, if you scroll deep enough into our video library, you'll see back in the day when JT was a Derek and a Larry, and he would do videos, which are great. If you notice, the topics that he would get were always the most complicated topics. I know I saw one about KVM switch or whatever. I'm like, yep, JT. So, because he is that guy. I always joke with JT that I don't need a Google Assistant or any kind of assistant because I just say, hey, JT, and I get all the answers I need, right? This is my guy, and you all that have been around the show long enough, you've seen JT pop up in the chat.
Heard his name at least.
Yeah, at least, yeah. So I'm glad, JT, you had the time, to spend with us to be able to give your technical insight. But for the audience, in your transition to your new role, what are you most excited about in what you're doing now?
And what I'm doing now, the big thing is I get to live our Cinema's Coming Home message in what we used to call lens to living room. So not only do I get to interact with you guys and our customers in the home theater space in terms of TV, home audio, both soundbar and AV receiver. I'm actually the product manager for projector now, which is great because I just set up a 130-inch screen in the back.
Okay, give him a mic. Do you want me to undress too?
Can they not hear him?
Okay.
No mic on JT. Got called out. Thank you, Malcolm, letting us know.
All right, there we go. All right, we'll just share.
There we go. So apparently we're down to 2 microphones. We'll be buying more after.
Sharing's caring.
But yeah, for those of you that missed that, so I get to kind of live and breathe Cinema's Coming Home, lens to living room. So not only do I get to look after our TVs, our home audio, both receivers and soundbars, both things like the Bravia Theater Bar 8.
To wave the mic.
Yes, nice little Doppler effect there. So things like the Bravia Theater Bar 8, Bravia Theater Bar 9, the quad, but also our amazing AV receivers. We just set up this amazing theater, which all three of you got to experience today.
Goodness, it's incredible. Man.
So we're running a 7.2.2 theater in the back with a nice 130-inch screen. What did y'all think of it?
Well, truth be told, you guys know me. I started. I don't know if this is gonna work. Okay. Truth be told, I sat down and it's I like my setup at home. I don't think I have a crappy setup, right? So I'm like, okay, JT, I'll sit in here and listen, and sure. 5 seconds into the demonstration, I all of a sudden hate everything I have at home, which is a bad thing. So thank you for ruining my at-home experience. Please continue. So, Antoine?
I feel the same way. I feel like the stuff I got is good, and when I'm watching it, I really enjoy it. But I even told you, there's watching content on your TV or your home theater, but then there's an experience. So today was an experience. And I hate that, you only show me little bits. Something wrong with my mic? Oh, man, dude. this mic. Okay, not sure where I left off, but can I get it? There you go. See, all right, that'll work. Yeah, so when I'm at home, I'm watching my own stuff, and I love it. And when I get to see some stuff you set up like today, it goes from watching TV or watching your own stuff that you feel like is great, right? And then you come here and you see what you set up, and now it's an experience versus just watching something. Yeah, it just changes it. And I'm like, now I got to go spend some money.
There it is.
Thank you. My turn. No.
Your turn. I'll hold it for you so that way you don't have to keep handing it off to each other. Yeah, I think one of the great things about getting to experience that, this is one of those things that I wish everybody could experience. The downside to your point was, here's 2 minutes of this movie that you can be so enamored with, and then all right, thank you, go away. Which is sad. Yeah, that's it.
And he knows what he's doing. He does it on purpose.
Yeah, just teasing.
Yeah, it's awesome. And if you ever do see any Sony events out near you, it's sometimes that does happen, but if you see it, definitely check it out because it's going to be something to check out that you want to see. I don't know what it'll be or if it'll be anywhere near anybody, but if you see anything or hear anything, make sure you try to find a way to get to any sort of Sony event because they're going to be amazing no matter what it is.
100%. And then aside from showing you all amazing home theater demos, the other side of my job is working with the actual creators in the studio side. So this is what, again, I'm kind of most excited about in my new role is not only do we have, you have all seen the amazing BVM, or what we call the TriMaster reference monitors. And for those of you at home that have never heard of these are arguably the most accurate monitors on Earth for color correction after. So this is the step between when the movie is created and when it's released into theaters and when it's released into your living room, where the colors and the contrast are perfected. Now, these are absolutely beautiful screens, but they do cost $35,000 for 31 inches. Yeah. So our whole goal behind our flagship series, like the Bravia 9 Mini LED for those brighter living spaces, the A95L for those darker media rooms, is to get as close to that screen as possible. So one of my jobs is to work with these creators to make sure that our TVs are exactly what they experience in those studios. And that's why we've gone to great lengths to start with Netflix adaptive calibrated mode, with Sony Pictures Core calibrated mode, and now Prime Video calibrated mode, is working with all these studios and getting that to living room. So that's what I'm most excited about.
So hold on. So JT, you're not going to come on the show, and I'm not going to put you on the spot. Can you tell us a little bit about specific directors and studios we've been working closely with?
Well, we can actually, a little bit. So if you're ever interested to see kind of what Sony's up to on the pro side, we have a whole website for our Cinemalina cameras called SonyCine.com. That's C-I-N-E, so SonyCine.com. If you go to that site, you can actually see an entire section that is shot on Sony. And one of the ones we're most excited about is actually just premiering this weekend. We just did an amazing showing up in LA with the American Society of Cinematographers. But it's the new Bob Dylan biopic starring Timothée Chalamet. Yes. That was actually shot on the Sony Venice camera. Looks absolutely phenomenal. So this is what's really exciting about Sony is not only do we create our own pictures with the Sony Pictures Group and Columbia and all of our associated studios, but so many creators are after us for the look that the Venice provides that we get to do really exciting things with tons of studios, tons of creators, and of course some great talent in front of the camera too.
Very good. I thought I could get him with that one.
No,
he was ready for it.
You cannot stump JT.
I cannot.
That's just not a thing that happens.
Challenge accepted.
So I do want to bring this back a little bit. So thank you both for joining us, of course,
absolutely.
and to add a face to JT, the name that we have talked to and has been a tremendous help for a lot of the information from some of these tough questions. Will, now's your chance to throw in those questions. But yeah, if you have some of these tougher questions or things that we haven't really answered in the past, you can bring those up. Of course, JT can do his best to answer those if he can. But also just want to quickly call out too, there was a question and I was like, oh, I saw your question, Alan, and then I lost it. Here we go. Is there a volume limiter on the AN1000? JT.
Generally, there will be kind of a safe. Sorry, let me grab that again. So used to just talking.
It's just weird. Yeah.
Generally, all of our receivers do have a bit of a safety built in. Just we don't want to either harm the receiver itself. We don't want to harm those speakers attached. So there'll be kind of a safety shut off when it does detect a certain limit. What that exact limit is, I'm not sure. I have accidentally hit it myself in demos before because if you're not paying attention, you either sit on the remote or you bump the volume knob going by. It does have a safety shutdown just to protect itself and protect those gorgeous speakers you have in your room.
Is there, which may be what he might be suggesting is, could I limit the maximum volume?
Oh,
so if somebody, if like a kid comes in and is like, blah, cranks it up.
Not on the AN1000, but it is a feature on our ES receiver lineup. So starting with the AZ1000 series.
Okay, cool, awesome. Good stuff.
I've got a question. Can I get in the chat real quick? Do I need to go through the proper channels?
Really, yeah, actually, here. No.
Well, the proper channel, I don't want. So maybe JT can answer this. You mentioned the Netflix Calibrated and the Amazon Calibrated. I love those features because now I don't have to mess with anything. It's just pretty much perfect the way it is. Is there works in progress for other platforms like Paramount or whatever?
So I'm going to steal a line from Larry's playbook here and say I can't comment on or speculate on future plans, but if you know Sony, you know we're always talking to other studios, so I'm really excited to see what the future holds.
All right, cool.
Well done.
He's been watching.
That was good.
Yeah, that's the media training there. But thinking of that, like throw in the chat, like what would you like to see? You know, what companies would you like to see a calibrated?
Yeah, what app? If they're and you can participate. If there's one app
you would love to see, there's one app that you would love to see
you could pick two.
A studio calibrated mode added, what would that one app be? I don't see the chat.
Man.
I should have brought my laptop, sorry. But
oh man, I'm really struggling, but I'm leaning towards Max.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then you get Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, and like you ain't got to jack around with your TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all get fired.
Okay,
That's
next.
cool. No.
No, it's good to see some of those in there.
no,
But
it's
yeah, I
good,
mean,
yeah.
just from a perspective of just gaining information from the viewers out there, what you'd like to see. Thank you, Malcolm, for putting in your thoughts on that too. But yeah, anybody else, if you have something that you want to see, please let us know.
Yeah.
We would love to see what your thoughts are on any of that stuff.
It's awesome.
I do want to say too, we do have a question from Shuvo. Question for the team on Sony A95L Motion when used with something like Apple TV 4K with match frame rate and range. Does one turn off motion flow and Cinemotion, or do one turn off motion flow and Cinemotion? I'm not sure exactly what the question is. Maybe you get that.
So I always like to refer to kind of motion processing, and in our case, motion flow settings, and with especially the A95L XR OLED motion. It's really like seasoning your own food. Everyone's going to have a little bit of a different preference in terms of what they like. We do have an auto mode that will automatically match the frame rate. So if you do have your Apple TV device set to match dynamic range, which is going to match if it's HDR or SDR, and you have it to match frame rate, which can go 24 for cinematic content, 30 for streaming content. Auto will do a very good job. It will have a little bit of interpolation. If you are more of a fan of cinematic motion, you like going to the theater and seeing it exactly the way that was in the theater screen at home, that's where our presets for both professional and cinema come in. So actually, good little segue here to dive into kind of what these two modes are, because I think there's a bit of a misunderstanding where some people just never really dove into what these two modes mean. So if you remember I was talking about those BVM, those TriMaster reference monitors. This is what all the creators have in their editing bays when they're doing those final grades of the movies. Professional on the new TVs, or it used to be called custom if you have a series that's a couple of years old, that's designed to track exactly like that monitor. It's kind of the most accurate mode to reference. So if you want to see exactly what's created in the studio, on the new models that's professional, on the older models that's custom. Now, those creators are in a very, very dark viewing environment. They have the equivalent of one incandescent bulb in that room turned right down on a dimmer switch. For my nit nerds out there, that's about 5 nits of brightness. So that's odds are dimmer than your living room. So if you're watching it in anything where you have some lights on, if you might have some ambient light coming into the room, this is where our cinema mode comes in. Cinema maintains that creative intent, but makes the midtones a little bit brighter, makes it easier to see. So if you're watching a dark scene, you'll notice those shadow details are a little easier to see. And then bright room, that's where you want to start using standard. That's kind of our catch-all mode, designed for ambient lighting, general TV watching, that's where you want to be. But going back to the question about motion, both the cinema preset and the professional preset have that cinematic motion preset in there. So if you're a fan of that 24p motion, you like the way the movies look in a theater, that's where you want to be.
Nice. That's nice.
Did we bump up the? Well, you can hold that because you're going to answer this. Cinema from 2023, my A95K. I knew he was going to say that. As soon as I said the model number, I knew that was going to happen. Well, I'm going to own it. Cinema mode on A95K compared to cinema mode on Bravia 9. First of all, I shouldn't even be comparing those two TVs. But it seems as though cinema is a little bit, I'm talking out loud, I'm thinking, oh, it is the Bravia 9. I was going to say it seems a little brighter, but it is the Bravia 9.
Absolutely.
Okay, so never mind. I just wasted
Our brightest 4K TV ever.
Like it's on, like my, so we get questions all the time about what are our picture settings, whatever. And Derek and I were like, we just don't really mess with as much as you guys think, right? Like I'm cinema mode, brightness 25, done on Bravia 9. I don't even touch a single thing. And it handles all the variable lighting conditions, and I think it's flawless. So that's just my 2 cents. So yeah, okay. Nothing to ask.
I was gonna say, did you answer your own question?
Yeah, I said Bravia 9. Of course, it's bright. That was dumb.
Sometimes you gotta say it out loud.
Sometimes I shouldn't say anything out loud. You shouldn't have agreed so quickly, Derek. Okay. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
We do have another question here too.
Nice.
Let's see. This one should be a little bit easier. I do expect JT you to know this.
All right.
New Sony Pictures movie F1 is coming. That's coming out. Is it shot on a Venice?
So this is one thing I can't talk about yet. So like I was saying before, we do have our own movies, our own production companies. So you all know certain Sony IPs that are out there, shot on Sony cameras, shot in Sony studios. F1 is actually a collaboration between Apple and Warner Brothers. It is actually the team behind Top Gun Maverick. So for my movie nerds out there, this is Joseph Kosinski and Claudio Miranda working together. We can't quite talk about what's going on in that film yet, so stay tuned in 2025 and we'll be able to share a bit more.
That sounds pretty awesome. Whatever it is.
Have you ever met them?
I have actually, so you have as well. So at
Thank you, JT.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So Larry's got to flex on that a little bit. So one of the great things about what we get to do is that whole Cinema's Coming Home is what we live and breathe. Yeah. So when we did our 2024 TV launch event, we got to meet Joseph Kosinski, Claudio Miranda. We also got to meet Mr. Phil Scriccia, who's behind The Boys over on Amazon TV.
Shout out to Gary Hecker as well, Foley artist. Absolutely incredible on the Sony lot. Yep. Great dude too.
Derek got to spend 3 days with an absolute Hollywood legend.
Yes. He created from the Spider-Man movies like all the Foley, going back to the original Sony Spider-Man movie.
Exactly. So he is the only person that does the Spider-Man web noises. So he's done Toby's, he's done Andrew's, he's done Tom's. He's an amazing guy to talk to.
He does the thwip.
He does the thwip. Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. You should hang out with Derek more often.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm not the cool one. He's the cool one. I just got to witness it.
I need the link, though. I need
Too funny. Okay.
Cool. Sorry, I kind of hijacked that one a little bit. Let's see. A couple of things came up, not too much. Without giving away any secrets, of course, can JT give us his thoughts and impressions on the upcoming Dolby Flex Connect technology? Now, it's not really us related necessarily, but...
Definitely. So we do work very closely with Dolby, of course, having Dolby Vision on our TVs as well as Dolby Atmos both across our TVs and our home audio lineup. Just like all the other technologies out there, we are looking at it, but as of right now, our kind of vision for what we're doing in home audio is it's very important for us to have all the speakers around the room match. Either if you're using a conventional AV receiver like the aforementioned AN1000 or the ES line, or with something like our Theta Bar products, having the matching RS3s, RS5s, or in the case of the quad, having those 4 identical quad speakers around the room.
Yes, sir.
So again, we are always looking at future technologies, but right now we believe the best fit is to have those speakers matching for that truly immersive, seamless surround sound.
Nice.
Good answer.
Look at that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Makes sense to me. That's a no-brainer.
I know.
Duh.
Anything other than that is going to mess with my obsessive compulsive disorder. My OCD.
Yep.
So
There's nothing wrong with that. It happens. Yes.
Going back to that theater I showed you guys earlier today, you saw the power of matching speakers around the room, just that seamless transition of audio.
That's fair.
As a certain fighter jet movie, and just having those sounds move around the room made you feel like you're right in that cockpit.
Such a great movie. Okay.
So all right.
Watch that whole movie.
You've never seen it?
We're talking. You didn't say the name of it, so does that mean I can't? I don't think I can't. It's a movie about a dude in a plane. It's a movie about a dude in a plane. He's really good at the plane stuff, right? And
Took about 20 years for the sequel?
Yeah, that one.
You could say the guy was at the very top.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the plane had some pew pews on it. And it was at the top with pew pews. So anyhow,
I love it.
in my videos, I've always shown clips of this movie. And there's another movie, but I've never seen the entire movie. I've seen enough clips to probably put it together in my head, but I've never seen it all just run.
That's crazy. You're missing out.
I need to do it. I need to just do it. Now it's not going to be good though, because I saw it on your 130-inch screen.
Oh, sure. I was going to say there were no spoilers in that scene, but now that I've ruined you with that picture and that sound,
me for life. Yeah. So
There's a difference between ruining like a scene or the experience.
yes.
There it is. There it is. It's still good though.
I'll do
good
what
to
I
see.
can do with my equipment at home.
There you go. All right, we do have a question, and I'm gonna say this verbatim just to put that out there. Will has a question. He's got a few actually. Sure. We try to keep up here. Where's the first one? Okay, the A95L suffers from a lot. I'm quoting here of T-Con errors. Is this software or hardware? Will it be fixed via firmware?
So this T-Con thing is something I've talked to the service department because actually you two brought it up because I think it was brought up in a previous episode.
Yeah, I know I sent some stuff to you about that.
And we have brought it up, and T-Con is a bit of a general error for us. And talking to the engineers, this is nothing serious in terms of hardware with the TV. It just seems to be a little bit of an error. That being said, if you do see a T-Con error TV, their advice is to either hold down the power button to reset, or just a power on, power off. But as mentioned before, this is not something that is serious hardware related. This is not something that's generally affecting the longevity of the TV. This is just a little bug they're trying to chase down in the system. But we have had, in terms of service call support, very few of these. So I do see some talk online in the forums, but in terms of overall service calls, this is something we've seen a few cases of. The engineers are trying to chase it down, but if you do notice it on your own, please just hold the power button down to reset, or if the TV is frozen, just unplug, plug it back in. That is their recommendation.
Nice.
Well done.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I personally have not experienced it on mine.
Because Derek has an 895L.
I mean, it's true, but I have not experienced that issue. I've actually experienced no issues myself.
Yeah, and
So-
to comment on that as well, you guys have all seen my room upstairs with, I've lost count of how many TVs are running in that room right now.
Yes.
I still have not seen it on my own A95L up there, so it does seem to be
Nice.
just a few are affected, but again, hold down the reset button and it will resolve itself.
Awesome.
JT has an 895L.
Well, here I have an A95L, but I'm a little spoiled because I was gonna say I'm a little spoiled because at home I've got the 75 Bravia 9, so just to flex on there a little bit.
See what I'm saying?
Everybody,
just big boyed me.
everybody weep for Larry.
Perks of the new role.
I love it. Yeah, well deserved though.
There is some love out there for you, sir. Couple comments about being very authentic, down to earth, which I know that's kind of like your thing, which I think is the great draw. So if you are looking for very authentic, down to earth tech commentary and review, definitely check it out. You do have a new subscriber as well, so.
Appreciate that, guys. Oh, you got the mic. I appreciate that, guys.
Sorry, as I was literally holding it the opposite way, but yeah.
You know what? If I can plug this real quick, here's I'm gonna tell you right now. Good. If you are a guy and you are trying to achieve spousal approval on a product, but you can't quite get your spouse to understand why it's a cool product, the way Antoine breaks that down will have your wife going, "Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think we should get that." So I'm just saying, I've used this. Okay, so this is my endorsement. He is a great wingman with respect to consumer electronics. So there it is.
Do you take requests as well?
I can start. I do what I can for the people, but it all comes from just personal experience. I'm always trying to sell my wife on allowing me to get some stuff. So I just now relay it on camera for you guys. So
There it is.
There you go. I love it.
yeah.
And speaking of Antoine's channel, have we said hi to Wilson yet?
Oh, Wilson, my dude. What's up, Wilson?
What's up,
Wilson,
Wilson?
we made it out the hood, man. We made it.
I love it. Oh, I love
You
it.
made it. Now you're here.
Wilson is my guy. Wilson, he's definitely my guy, man. He
I
holds
love
me
it.
down.
Yeah, check out his channel to get the inside joke. Those that know. If you
Yeah.
know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Or should we say, did you know?
Yeah.
I love it.
I cannot believe we have not had a did you know all day.
This has not been a
It's-
traditional run of
hasn't.
anything, honestly.
We should just like right now just go through release radar.
We didn't
all
make
of
any
like right
notes.
now.
We literally have no
Whoa.
notes.
Yeah, release radar, new product coming soon. Come on, one more. Updates, always update your TV. Come on. Facts. Hey, there's a e-support channel with a help guide that answers all your questions. Bite size. We haven't had dinner. That's my bite size guide. So, John, I'm done, John. I don't have any more. I can't.
I got more B-roll. I got more B-roll.
Hey,
It's
who's
late.
that nerd?
Oh, it's so
Oh my
late.
God,
We're
I
having
was
too
loving
much
this. Y'all are killing me.
Speaking of updates, have we talked about the new Google panel yet?
A little bit, but you know what? A question came up. That's a good thing. Yeah. So what do you know, JT? So the question came up with the new Google TV UI. It came up earlier regarding the sports tab, and we did touch on that's US only. But what do you know about the rollout plan, and when is it happening, and how far back is it going?
Well, that I can't really say. Google's always a little bit secretive in terms of this because they want to make sure it's an absolutely reliable experience as they roll it out. So as soon as we have more information, I'll be able to share it with you in terms of being able to relay it to your audience. But right now, I am excited about that new Home tab because I, like many people, have so many smart lights at home. And now being able to just quickly pull that up on a side tab just changes the game on my TV.
So off the record, so John, disclaimer. Just because we were missing that one. So to feed that one.
Complete now.
Yeah.
So authentic.
to JT's point, we can't talk about the rollout, but what we can do is talk about our TVs that have received it and how far back it's gone so far. So the oldest TV I have right now that's received the update is the A80J. So, and I think John confirmed his Z9J has received it, and A90K has received it. A95K has received it at my home, as well as my Bravia 9 now, which ironically was the last one at my home that got the update, but my H's and G's have not quite yet. Derek, in your home?
L, A95L, and A80K.
And A80K.
Yep.
Okay. So the rollout is dope because it does, you know, it's a lot of different years, and I think that's a two-part story. I love the fact that Google is continuing to try to work on that user experience with that interface, but that kind of plays, that's why Google TV or Google as a brand and also Sony are great partners, because just like them, we're all about trying to keep our TVs up to date post-purchase. You don't just buy it, and if you want an update, our answer is, well, there's a new one coming out next year. Yeah. That's not the way we roll. So we constantly are delivering firmware updates. That first bullet point, other picture quality improvements, or I forgot what it is. But yeah, so we're always trying to make our TVs improve better than the day you bought them. So that's my little plug.
Nice. All right, so we got a couple things to catch up on.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to answer this one first, and I think, JT, this will be for you. And then we'll hit a couple from Will real quick as well. First, from Big Phil, can you explain more in detail the differences between motion flow and Cinemotion? The brief on-screen menu description is a bit vague. I would agree with that.
Definitely. So motion flow in general is kind of a catch-all for a few different settings in the TV in terms of smoothness and clearness. So smoothness, in terms of another name, comes down to motion interpolation. So for those of you out there that are going, that's too many technicalities for me, I just want to make my TV look better. That's the ability of the TV to put frames in between what's actually coming into your TV to make that motion look
like creating
smoother.
Artificial frames.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, some people, if you turn that up too high, see that as the soap opera effect. So again, this is kind of going back to where we're saying motion processing is a little like seasoning on your food. It really comes down to taste. And then the other part of that is clearness. And clearness comes down to black frame insertion, putting a frame in between. And what's really interesting about motion processing on TVs, just to simplify this for a second out there, is our brains are still hunter-gatherer brains up here. So motion processing helps them understand it better. So when you put black frames in between your video, you're almost hitting a little reset switch up here, and your brain sees less blur. So that's why it looks clearer. Now, on some TVs, that can make the motion look quite a bit dimmer. On the Sonys, you'll notice it happens quite a bit less. And this is a technology we've been working on for a few years. I'm sure you guys have all remembered training this back in the day. But we don't actually turn the whole screen black. We do individual portions while boosting others. So we get the benefit of better clearness without losing brightness. So under your motion flow, you've got those two smoothness and clearness settings. And then Cinemotion, I'm going backwards on terms here. It's been a very long day setting up that theater. Cinemotion really comes down to matching the kind of the film frame rate. And again, it really comes down to personal preference. I think there's an auto, low, medium, high, or off. But generally, if you're watching kind of cinema film content, the default settings in both professional and cinema will be where you want to live.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Sometimes it's keeping it easy, but even if you are like a technical nerd and want some of those bits of information, send us an email. Maybe we can go in a little bit more detail if you want more information on that. So cool. Thank you. All right, we got to catch up on some stuff here. All right. MG says or asks, EOTF improvements on A95L for Dolby Vision possible with firmware update?
So we are still working with Dolby. I'm sure you guys remember when we had the few issues that were brought to our attention earlier this year with Dolby Vision playback. We've been working very closely with Dolby Labs. We're happy that we were able to resolve quite a few of those issues working together. And we are continuing to work with them on any little things that pop up. So stay tuned on more updates, but if you guys all know our engineers, they are still upstairs working right now. I just ran out there to get some coffee. So this is something that they are not sleeping on, and we're continually working not only internally, but also with external partners like Dolby as well.
Perfect. Go home until it's fixed.
Yes.
So that's kind of a good segue to a couple of Will's questions. It was said a few weeks ago Sony was still working with Dolby on Dolby Vision fixes for A95L. Can you comment on what issues are still being addressed? Followed by anything else you can share that's being worked on in next firmware or features to come.
So
I don't know if you can answer that, but
kind of going back to
whatever you
kind of
got.
speculating on future features and updates, it's not something that our engineers readily share with us. But if you are noticing any issues out there, please continue to bring them to our attention, either on the after-hours support. I'm going to trigger John here to put that up on the screen.
Pinned in the chat.
Pinned in the chat. There we go. Or also use our support chat on the Sony support pages, and all that feedback goes directly to our engineers. There's also our community forum, which a few of our team look after as well.
Shout out to community forum members. Thanks for being here.
Yep, just yesterday I was forwarded a couple posts on there that we're discussing with the engineers. So again, if you are noticing anything you think could be improved, please let us know.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Followed by another question from MG. Why game mode require gradation preferred for EOTF when SBTM is better suited for gaming on PS5, etc.?
So this is basically a conscious decision between our TV engineers and PlayStation working together. Great thing about here is we're actually in the same building. Same thing as in Tokyo, we're in the same building. And then, actually, that's a good thing I can address you with gradation preferred versus brightness preferred.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually know that's come up. So a little more on the technical side with the new TVs. But when you notice that tone mapping menu setting in the new ones, you'll notice gradation preferred or brightness preferred. And this really comes down to where the TV starts clipping highlights or where it really starts aggressively tone mapping highlights. So if you're looking for your TV to look a little bit brighter, push that brightness range a little bit more, that's where you want brightness preferred. Lets the TV run a little bit brighter before it starts tone mapping down. Basically clips at a higher brightness level. Whereas gradation preferred, we start tone mapping a little bit early on that brightness cycle to maintain more highlight details. So it really depends on the look you prefer, and that's why we give you the option. Now, of course, there are defaults in the game mode, and those defaults are a combination of our own TV engineers' preferences, working with PlayStation Studios. But again, just like anything else we've been talking about today, it's really like seasoning your food. It comes down to those personal preferences.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those things that I don't find it frustrating, but I find that I can't give a solid, consistent answer to those types of questions because it does vary so much. Actually, I had a question for you then. What is your go-to picture mode for your general viewing purposes?
I can't remember exactly what they're called, but it's the two we talked about. Where it's most likely not going to be professional. Is it cinema?
Yeah.
I'd cinema everything, all the things, even sports. I know.
What?
I know, right? I know.
It actually works.
Yeah, cinema everything, all the things.
Okay. All right. I can't argue, but that's the great thing about it is that it's
certain circumstances, like when we were watching the Olympics, I messed around with it a little bit so I could brighten it up a little bit. And of course, gaming, you can't really do cinema on gaming, but pretty much everything else, TV shows, movies especially, cinema.
Nice. Okay. I can't argue with that, but that's the great thing about it. I actually use professional mode. But I'm in a basement.
Yeah, you have a light control.
Bias lighting only in the room, so it works beautifully. But yeah, again, I mean, it's great to see these questions, but it can be tough because we can't say what's best for what you like, but we want to make sure there are options within the TV settings for you to be able to kind of customize it to your taste. But season to taste is kind of the.
Can we all admit when we were home over the holidays, we were turning motion interpolation off on our family members' TVs? Can we admit that?
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
From Vivid to
Yes.
Yeah.
Vivid.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. Hey,
I hope I'm not offending anybody out there.
to each their own.
No,
to each their own.
Yeah, how would Larry stop?
I'm gonna say you do what makes you happy. As long as it is good for people around you. Let's take care of each other. Let's be good to each other, right?
No, he's saying what everybody else is thinking. You stop that mess.
I will say though, the amount of family members where they've been watching in Vivid, and I've gone in and turned their TV to cinema. The initial reaction is, why isn't my TV as bright as it was?
But why does it look so much
and then
better?
about 3 days later, they call me back going, okay, you were right. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so we got a couple more here. There's some tough ones in here. I'm just going to say that, and I'm glad I'm the only one with a laptop to do this. So where are we here? Okay. I just quickly want to say this because I'm not sure how I feel about it. I feel a little special, but are you still doing a contest / giveaway? We're talking about our sweepstakes. That's still in motion. Larry, if you want to add something to that, and I'll finish the rest of this.
Yes, official details for the sweepstakes will go live on New Year's Day. We will be launching all of the details.
The CES live stream after hours support.
Oh, sorry, producer John just corrected me. It won't be on New Year's Day. We will make it a part of our CES special live stream that we're going to have, where we will share all of the details and all the information and all of the terms and conditions, that's from your legal meetings, Derek, that qualify you for. It's a lot of prizes.
It is, and this was to thank you for segue into the rest of this
Okay.
question. Is could one of the prizes be lunch with us?
No, we pick good prizes only.
Yeah, we pick good prizes only.
You don't want that. But, I mean,
I appreciate the sentiment of that.
I do too.
yeah.
Look, if you ever end up in the same places we are, I'm definitely down for some lunch.
That's true.
I'm good with that.
I don't know about Larry after 3 days on the floor at CES, how sociable he's going to be.
Well, yeah.
These
we wouldn't
guys
be
know
meeting
me.
people at
I
CES,
am an introvert, and but after CES, I don't want to talk to anybody.
but you get to.
Yeah, I was just talking about that. Like, once I'm on, but when it shuts off, I need about 4 days to recover.
What am I again, Derek? What did you say that
Ambivert.
ambivert?
I think I am that as well.
Is that a real thing?
That is a real thing.
Google it.
We're in the middle of something, but we can address this after. Yes.
You got a computer, bro. Google
I do. I got all these questions I'm
Ambivert.
trying to get to here. I do apologize. We're trying to have some fun too,
Sorry.
but we
Oh,
want
my
to get to the
goodness.
questions as well.
But Michael, I
yes, we
appreciate
will.
that best prize ever. I appreciate that call out. That I definitely appreciate the love.
All right,
my
I
friend.
lost where I was. There's a couple more from Will. All right, couple rapid fire ones for you,
All right.
unless expanding on it is necessary. The A95L, the ABSL dimming is very aggressive for PL high. Sports news. Why does it kick in so fast and dim so much? I know you want to protect the TV, but this seems overkill.
Yeah, and in PL, I'm assuming it's peak luminance high. This is driving that QD-OLED panel as hard as it can go. And we're really concerned over the longevity of your TV in your space, so we want to protect it as much as possible. So for that, I may recommend turning peak luminance down to medium. It's a little less aggressive at that setting. But we're just being I'll admit, a little overly cautious, but it is our engineer's approach just to make sure that that high quality TV you have in your living room is there for years to come at its best performance possible.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I see it from why is it not
Absolutely.
doing this, but at the same time, that's an investment, that type of a TV, and you do expect it to last as long as possible. I mean, if you are one of those people like I want to beat my TV to death and I'm going to get one every 3 to 5 years, that's okay too. But the average person, generally speaking, we want to try to make sure that their product lasts as long as possible. That's good.
And it's always one of the challenges the engineers face is how to get the maximum performance out of it, but still make sure that your investment is protected. So it's all about finding that balance.
All right, I like that. All right, A95L is widely reported by numerous review sites that game mode is 300 nits darker. That's very specific than regular viewing when modes are in the same Dolby Vision gaming mode. Can Sony increase this to be the same?
So it really comes down to looking at test patterns versus looking at real-world content. I think previously an example was called out on a certain review site that uses still images. Looking at real-world content, this is something that we've all done upstairs in my lovely room with too many TVs to count up there. It is something that is extremely hard, if not in many scenes, have not noticed the difference at all. Again, I'm not hooking a meter to it. I'm talking about perceived brightness. Yes. So it is, again, kind of real-world content versus kind of holding a static image up on the screen. And if there's one thing I've learned in my almost 10 years here talking to our TV engineers, we don't build our TVs for meters. We build our TVs for eyes.
Oh, that's wow.
That should be a T-shirt. Can we?
You can make that. Yeah, we can make that a T-shirt. Sure.
Okay.
I will be taking royalties on that.
No, you said it on this show.
Did I miss that? Did I miss that in the disclaimer?
Yes, that's in there. John, edit that in real quick.
You signed the form.
You signed the form.
Sign the form.
I love it.
All right, we got another question for you, JT. This will be interesting. I'm interested to see what you say to this. What settings would you recommend on a 930C for editing?
So for editing, 930C, I'm thinking back to the operating system on that one, you'd want to use custom. And the reason for that is custom is as close to reference as possible, going back to those TriMaster reference monitors. So it's not applying a lot of the very powerful image processing in that TV. So you're going to get a better idea of exactly what your footage, now I don't know if you specified photo or video there, But either custom would be kind of your reference mode to track that reference monitor. In many cases, in what we call color studios or color houses, where these TriMaster monitors are being used, they have the BVM down here, and then they have one of the Sony consumer TVs up here in its professional or previous to professional, like the 930C custom, to give the other folks in that room the best idea possible. Because as amazing as those monitors are, it's a monitor designed for one user. And I think my favorite comment I heard on my last studio tour was, oh yeah, if we ever notice a slight variance between the TV on the wall and the monitor, we get in bobsled configuration, which means everyone in the room is standing behind each other, slightly looking over the other person's shoulder to see that. So for your editing at home, 930C custom would be my recommendation.
Nice.
Very nice. All right. That's awesome. So we got a couple, shout out to a couple other people that are joining us. Luca, yes, you are late. Ronan,
Luca?
you are also late. But, you know, to be fair, we were very late. So, you know, that's okay. But good to have you guys here with us. SD as well. Thank you for joining us again. SD made a comment here. I measured about 100 nits difference between the game mode and regular mode. Not noticeable difference to me. So,
Yeah, and it's Larry, you nailed it there. It's perceivable, because the interesting thing about brightness is, I'm going to go math nerd here and see if I can dig into my old pre-calculus skills. Brightness measurements are logarithmic, so it's almost exponential growth. So 100 nits isn't as perceivable at a larger jump. In fact, for many people, it's almost imperceptible.
yeah, that's what I've seen is like some of the measurements. And you're like, oh, this is a difference of like somewhere around 70 hertz, or 70 hertz, I'm on the wrong thing, 70 nits is like almost noticeable. But, you know, some people are sensitive to it in different ways.
Yep.
So interesting. Okay. All right, let's see. What other questions do we got here? Can I ask what the frame rate is of the video we are seeing right now in the live stream on the FX3? John, what do you have it set to? 30. 30.
Yeah, and I was going to say, that's actually a limitation of the streaming platforms we're using. And realistically, what you watch out there is all sorts of varying content. If you're watching true cinematic content, you're talking 24p. Virtually everything on YouTube, I believe, is still 30p. There is some 60p stuff out there, but virtually everything you watch at home is either going to be 24, 30, or 60.
Oh, there's some 60p out there because Larry finds it.
Larry's like, I'm going to do a minute short, and yeah, here's my 14 gig file for you to edit. Good luck, editors.
Shot in 4K 120.
So this is where I say, stop it.
Yes, Larry, stop it.
Stop it.
I had someone tell me the 4K 60 at 1.4. They were like, it looks too fake. I don't like it.
Yeah. It's a
I'm like, well, so.
Yeah. I'm starting to wonder how much Larry's editor paid Antoine to say that.
Yeah.
Everyone pulled in.
I signed the form.
He did say, yeah, that's true. He did sign the
form will
form.
protect
Oh
me.
my goodness. I love it.
All right, we got a couple great comments from SD that I won't call out, but I think it's pretty funny. Michael Beckerman says, Sony now has some 480 hertz capable gaming monitors. With people doing more high-end PC gaming on their TVs, might we see some very high refresh rate TVs from Sony soon as well? I mean, I don't know if TV people want to go there.
I see Larry looking at me like he knows exactly the words that are going to come out of my mouth.
Oh, yeah,
So
go ahead.
let's give it to Larry this time.
We are not able to speak about any future or unannounced products, unfortunately,
Or speculate.
or speculate. However, just know that Sony is committed to delivering the consumers exactly what they're looking for, and as long as the industry can support it with content.
I did that last little part.
Beautiful.
Hey, but fun fact, if you're at home, borrow this real quick.
If you're at home, Google
Wait.
a disclaimer. No, this is okay. Oh, because I said the word Google?
Just in case.
Yeah, Google 52 XBR7. 52 XBR7. And then let me know what you find out. Okay, there we go. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Antoine is like, what is it? Yeah. John knows what it is. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to tell you.
It was definitely above 100.
No, I'm not going to say it. No.
I will say it was definitely above 120 hertz.
It was definitely above 100. JT remembers. It was definitely above 120 hertz native panel TV.
And a very long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I was skinny when that came out.
I had hair.
One thing I have learned on this trip is that a lot of the things that are maybe popular now or we wish we had, Sony already did that like a few years back. And for whatever reason, didn't really take off and fly. Is it because of marketing, advertising? It just wasn't compatible with stuff back then? Like,
This is when you pop up the disclaimer.
oh boy.
You did it now.
Here's my take. If you look at the other brands out there and you had to sort of categorize where they put their importance, everyone other than Sony, their importance is placed on marketing, buzz terms, pretty little things that make people think that it does what it really doesn't do. We are an engineering company at the core. That's what we do. We are always pushing the industry in innovation. And sometimes we offer the industry something that they're not ready for. So when it's either consumer acceptance, because we're as creatures of buyers, if one person says that they have something, the validation in order for it to be validated, other people have to have it also.
Right.
Then you can compare across and make the decision. But if one thing only exists in one place, then you're reluctant to buy it, right?
Makes sense.
Because we're so focused on engineering, we're able to develop and innovate while everyone else takes 3 to 4 years to figure out how the hell we did it. And sometimes over the course of those 3 to 4 years, we decide that consumer acceptance just wasn't ready, so we pull back. So we have this internal, I'm really going in. We have this internal thing that we say, if you ever want to know what brand X is going to do, go back and look at what we did 3 years ago, and you'll get a preview of what they're going to do next year.
Wow. That's profound. So
Do you have goosebumps too?
yeah, man, I mean, I've seen, like, when I was talking to John earlier, he was just pulling up stuff on the internet. And I was
Yeah.
like, when did that come out? And
Yep.
it's like, where was I when that came out?
Yes.
Like, I was alive. I should have seen that.
Yes.
Yeah, some cool stuff.
It's crazy.
that the world never really got to see.
You guys coming upstairs and saw the wearable TV on my desk today.
Yes.
Wearable TV.
Yes.
What do you mean, like,
The FMT, whatever, the white one?
HMZ.
HMT.
And I told JT, my father has the white one. It's so crazy.
The OLED screens, right?
Yep.
Yes.
an OLED wearable TV?
How long ago was that? What
Yep.
year was that?
So this was not quite VR goggles, not quite AR goggles, but it was like a personal TV. So it looked like you were sitting in front of a beautiful 200-inch movie screen.
Wow.
It looks like a PSVR.
Did it have like a pass through so you could see?
No pass-through at that time. That was before that technology was possible. But in terms of like personal viewing movies, it was an incredible
That's crazy.
experience.
Now I gotta look up that.
Yep.
We made a portable one.
Yeah, we
So
did.
y'all just be making stuff.
Well, yeah.
It's like, all right, I made something new, and
Yes.
Well, for my background, that's imaging. Like if you consider we led the charge with mirrorless cameras back in the NEX days, and then
And we got laughed at.
yeah, absolutely. And 2013, when the original Alpha 7R came out, that's when my background is in imaging and video. That's when I made the jump from another brand over to Sony because I realized, hey, Sony's onto something here. Smaller, lighter, still full frame. And now you look at the rest of the industry, everyone's come over and go, oh, full frame mirrorless is the future. Well, that was us 11 years ago, almost 12 years ago now.
wow, that's been such a quick span of time.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But it's like, that's old school.
Yeah.
What'd you say, 13?
2013, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Because I do remember this. I remember I had a client who it was an A7, I'm not sure what it was, but I saw it and I was like, that's a cool looking camera. I'd never seen anything like it before. She was telling me about how it was mirrorless, and I was like, what does that even mean? Like, and here we are today. Yeah.
Crazy. I remember, not to go down, I remember one of the big talking points we had when mirrorless first came out. People were like, I want my professional camera to look like a professional camera. It should be big and bulky. And it's crazy that we actually had to overcome the idea of something being smaller, more compact, lightweight, more portable. It's crazy.
It is.
And here we are today.
There it is.
Have things changed?
We need to walk down memory lane segment.
we do.
We do.
We should consider doing that at some point and like gather some of the crazy things from upstairs and just kind of
Nobody saw.
right. and
I'd
it's-
love to see all this stuff.
Yeah.
Or even the stuff that people just have forgotten about.
Yeah. Man.
Really exciting thing, and the reason why, I don't know if I told you the full reason why I'm building that lovely theater in the back room there. Coming up into 2025, this is the 60th anniversary of our ES lineup, our elevated standard. So we kind of kicked off this celebration at a really cool show called CEDIA this past fall. For those of you that don't know, CD is all about the custom install industry. This is not only really advanced high-end smart home, but also home theater and whole home audio. So we actually brought out our first of what we consider the ES line, the old TA1120. Still worked, by the way. One of our reps had it in his garage.
Wow, that's crazy.
So our old 2-channel. So we're actually going to build out a little museum back here with a couple of the iconic ES pieces. So you get to walk past all these amazing heritage pieces before you get to come into my theater and hear what you all got to experience today.
Oh,
That's crazy.
So we'll definitely, when we get that off the ground, we'll have you guys in for a segment and you can see all the
we start
audio gear.
selling tickets too. Have people come out.
We'll see. I cannot comment on future speculation.
That's fair.
Well played. Well played. Well
All right, so I'm going to say this. We're going to start to wrap up, but I want to get through these questions too. So if you do have any questions, again, a couple things, obviously, throw it in the comments. We'll do our best to get to them. If we do not answer your question, first of all, I want to apologize on behalf of Larry for not answering it. Secondly, feel free to send us an email, or you can post a comment after the live is over on the video, and we can reply to that as well. We do keep track of that stuff, so we'll do our best to answer everything that we
Hold
can.
on, Derek. You said you want rapid fire and no segues? So I'm going to take this from Larry.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
That's
actually.
smart. Here you
It's
go.
a good
Thank
idea.
you.
You know, ironically,
Actually,
though,
I'll see you guys in
you know what? Ironically, this next question is actually one that Larry could
Oh,
answer.
all right.
But we'll see how this plays out.
Out.
It's right up your alley. So when you hear it, yeah. Shuvo asks, this is a good question. Question to the team about calibrated modes for Netflix, Sony, probably Core, and Prime. Is it dynamic? Changes based on the show and movie?
Go ahead, JT.
Definitely. So overall, it's a general. In most cases, it's a general setting for the app. We're talking both Netflix and Sony Core. What is dynamic about it is actually the ambient optimization features of the TV, in order how it responds to, depending on the TV model you have, and or the brightness of the room, but also the temperature of the lights in the room. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with light temperature, if you look at the lights that are on us right now, they're skewing a little more white, almost a little bit blue, versus the lights in the background, which are considerably a warmer color temperature. So most of our flagship TVs can actually not only sense the brightness, but also that color temperature to match. So both Netflix and Sony Core, both the Netflix Adaptive Calibrated Mode and Sony Pictures Core Calibrated Mode, are taking advantage of that. What's really exciting about Prime Video Calibrated Mode is now it's actually content aware, but also TV technology aware. So not only does it know that not only, is it in this level of room, this level of brightness, it's also optimizing itself to, is this an OLED? Is this an LED like the X90L? Is this a mini LED like the Bravia 7.9? And then the step beyond that is it's also content dependent. Because what's unique about Prime versus the other two sources, well, I should say Netflix is getting into the sports game now, but Prime does have the ability to analyze, is this a movie, is this a streaming content, and actually optimize its flow between the two. And that's going back to that studio reference monitor we were talking about. But what's really unique about Prime is the ability to sense the sports on it. Because sports isn't brought into a mastering studio in between the time it's captured and broadcast. It does a very quick pass through a broadcast truck, just make sure the picture looks accurate, and I wouldn't say out the door, but over the internet or over the broadcast cables it goes. So we're able to take a little bit more, I don't want to say creative liberties with sports, but we're definitely putting a little more processing on it to give you more of the experience that you're live. We're pumping up the colors a little bit to really make those jerseys pop, make the field pop. We're also adding a little bit more motion processing on there just because sports is a little more demanding versus 24 or 30 speed content. But Larry, you actually got to sit down at our launch event with both a technical director from Prime and we were talking about Phil Screecha from The Boys and really dove into this. So anything else you want to add?
Well, not that I can share. B.A. Winston is the gentleman from. I was told I can't share all the bits and pieces of how the content is processed and everything they work. You nailed the big parts of it. What I will say is I finally got to sit Derek down. You just got to understand, Derek is not a big football fan. So I got a chance to show him Prime Video Calibrated Mode today and had him watch it. I said, Derek, can you see this? What do you see? And even as a non-football fan, your reaction was what?
Yeah, I don't watch sports in general, sadly, but I'm not a big football fan personally. But watching that today, like the first thing you didn't have to say it, but you did note it.
Right,
You did
yeah.
emphasize it was the whites.
It's crazy.
Where they looked real.
Yes.
Like it was like the most natural looking white, which made everything else look so much more natural. And of course, seeing 4K sports broadcast is the first time I've actually seen it in 4K broadcast. I was like, wow,
Right.
like, it looks good. But it just adds an extra element of I'm there,
Yep.
which was
Yeah.
awesome.
We called out the white because typically what you'll find in content is they'll boost blue levels in white to artificially give you the perception of brightness, right? It's just how your brain translates it. But this was bright and it was pure. I would go so far as it was dang close to D65 white. Like it was like perfect white and bright. Anyway, it looked great. So if you can watch a piece of football content, can't say the league. If you watch a piece of football content on Prime Video and you have a TV that supports Prime Video Calibrated mode, trust me, it's game changing. No pun intended.
I actually had my first experience with that last week. The Lions were playing. Forgot who they played, but I had never watched it on Prime before. I was always watching it on DirecTV's app and maybe ESPN or something like that. But sometimes Fox. Can I say all these names?
No, but it's okay. You
All
already
right,
said it.
just
Fine.
put that up, man.
He's on it.
Anyways, he's like, whoop, whoop, whoop.
I can't even do it. You're good at it.
Okay. So yeah, I was watching it on other platforms, and this was the first game we watched on Prime, and I was like, man, it was crisp. It was so good, and I was like, how come all the other stuff ain't like this? So back to my question: are we getting other platforms with calibrated modes? Come on, bring it on in.
I'm going to wind us back. You know us, we're always working with other
Oh my
studios, so
God.
stay tuned.
Okay.
And I know at the attempt of not making me talk to not prolong this, I am going to say one more thing. If you do happen to watch the game that's played on Thursday nights on Prime Video Calibrated mode, if you want it, can I say? I don't care. If you want to see some cool Sony technology, as Sony is the official technology partner of the NFL.
We can definitely say that.
And I just made myself clear it all up by saying that, right? So I saved my job with that line. I know it's easy to just go to Prime Video and get ready to watch the game and watch what's listed as the main broadcast. Pull down on the remote, scroll all the way to the right to the third option, alternate broadcast with it's called Prime Vision with Next Gen Stats. If you've ever played a video game, a football video game, and you see how the players have their names above their head, and you see all the lines or the play that they're running, it does this in real time utilizing Hawkeye technology, which is it's a Sony division, okay? The way I was showing Derek, I said, it's so cool how it uses real-time analytics. It shows you the players. Based on formation, it starts to anticipate the play, and it also anticipates the defender that will make the play.
That's crazy.
And it highlights them. And the play that it showed is exactly what happened. But it changes the way you watch it. And for those that appreciate the traditional broadcast, it's still the same broadcasters. It's still the same audio. It's just a different perspective. It's the only way I'll watch the game now. So there you go.
I gotta check that out.
Did you know that was a thing?
That was a
now
thing.
you do. There you go. All right, let's do some rapid fire because we are about 20 minutes behind on the comments.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So sorry everybody, but we're gonna go through some of these. So let's do. I want to give the answer, but let's try to get it as precise as we can and condensed. Yeah, Larry, don't talk. All right. First, I just want. Okay, so let's start with this. How many hours can a user expect? I don't know if you can answer this in any way, but how many hours can a user expect the newer OLED TVs to start to lose brightness under normal use, e.g., professional, peak luminance, medium, etc.? How many hours until half-life? How would you best answer that?
So this is an interesting question because we work with multiple panel manufacturers around the world that all have their own individual specifications. But the general industry standard for OLED technology in general is about 20,000 hours.
Okay.
But put up that little disclaimer because that all depends on.
There's so many
Viewing
factors.
traditions,
Viewing
content.
So many factors that go
Exactly.
into it. So yeah, there is no like definitive number. I mean, I'm sure that was expected. But sort of like
I appreciate you. I would have stayed so far away from that question. I appreciate you being here and
yeah,
answering that.
JT knows what's up. All right, so SD, I see a bunch of your comments. I don't want to presume that I know what you're referring to. So Send me an email. I think we've talked through that before, but if you can send an email, just want to make sure that we address what your comments are as well.
Service menu. Being able to go into the service menu to disable ABL on OLED.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if I missed a question there or if it's just the comments.
Yeah, so that isn't generally a function of the service menu itself. Our service menu is more for diagnostics, and if you do ever have an issue with a TV, a technician's able to come in, take a look at those error codes, and make a proper diagnosis. Brightness limiting and kind of the safety features of the TV generally isn't a service menu function for us, just because that's more about diagnostics and overall TV health.
Okay. This is an interesting question. I never really thought about it this way, so I know you don't have the answer, but I want to get your perspective.
Certainly.
What does the 95 in so many manufacturers' flagship OLEDs signify? It seems odd that they all landed on that number.
Definitely. Well, for us, 9 has always been part of the flagship series, going back to things like
Z9G,
XBR.
XBR9.
Yeah, so going back to like the legendary XBR lineup, one of our most legendary LED TVs of the past 15 years, the Z9 series, but then going into the Master Series, the OLED A9. So it's always been for us, our TVs are kind of 3, 5, 7, 9 going up there, in addition to the Bravia 8, of course, this year, as well as the A8 series before that. But realistically, when it comes down to it, we have this ability to differentiate models. So we previously had an A9 series, and we kind of wanted to show a step up from the A9 series because for those OLED fans out there, original A9F, A9G, A90 series was always the conventional OLED, whereas A95 made that step up to QD OLED.
That's a good call.
So that's how we landed on it. I can't say how other folks are landing on the same 95 number, but that's always kind of been Sony's approach in terms of how we name our series.
I have a better question. How do manufacturers land on their processors using the term alpha? That's definitely been something that Sony has made very popular.
We're gonna go to the next question here.
I felt like
It's late.
You could feel the way, like his tone changes and his expression, and you're just like,
it's like I didn't do it.
Yeah.
You ever said something and regret you said it after you said it?
All right, let's see. I love everything about that. All right, let's see. This is very specific. You guys going to MLA OLED next year for your flagship? Poly market odds are 65% OLED and 35% QD OLED.
So
Interesting.
can't comment on future plans, as we've kind of mentioned before. But the main reason we believe QD
He just said he's kidding about the odds.
I was getting ready to say.
I should read a little further. Got him. On me.
So for us, and this has been a topic of many discussions with most of the TV media we discuss with TV creators as well, is kind of why Sony is QD OLED versus MLA. And for us, it comes down to color brightness and color volume. Because when you look at what the A95 is capable of with modern HDR content, we're able to as closely match those amazing $30,000 BVM TriMaster monitors as possible. To the point where we've been sitting down watching it, and a lot of us in the room stop watching the 30-inch, $30,000 monitor and start watching the A95L instead. So that's the reason for us, is just being able to achieve that level of color accuracy, color volume, color brightness is why we are, I don't want to say team QD OLED, but we are definitely behind QD OLED.
I like it.
Not to throw a Twilight reference at you all back there.
I love
Which
it.
team were you, Larry?
My wife will appreciate that.
All right.
I can't remember if it was Jacob and who was the other? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Howard Henry? What was it?
Only because I have 3 sisters, it was Team Edward.
Edward.
Yes.
I think that's who my wife was, Team Edward, I think.
I was reading, and I don't know how you got onto that, so
It wasn't me, I promise.
I feel like I didn't.
Derek,
Right turns.
yeah. In all fairness, Derek told us not to go off topic, and we just went right there.
I mean,
Right on the side of the road, man.
can you take over, please? I need
I'm going with you.
some okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. I'm out. All right, so some great comments, and I really wish we had the time to like kind of go through all these great comments. People talking about the history. Preach, Larry, preach came up a couple times when you kind of went into that, which is great. So people talking about some nostalgic content. Luca saw your comment, so yeah, he's got some ideas he wants to share. I'm sure he's probably got tons of stuff too. So we'll see you in Vegas, and hopefully any of the other folks that are heading out to CES. I know a couple people mentioned it. we'll be working there. You'll be there, not working. Well, working
I'm working.
for your own stuff, but you're gonna be there, JT.
I will be there briefly.
Whatever. So
This is my first year in 9 years. I don't have to do the full gamut of the show, so I'm kind of excited.
I get it. Yeah.
Every day, every
Yes,
hour.
Larry and I will be there working, but if you do see us, please say hello. I know I'll be walking around with some VIP type people, so I will do my best to at least say hello because you guys are all VIPs to me as well. So, you know,
They don't trust me enough.
that's true. That is true.
After being here today, I see
You
why.
get it. Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, I get no VIP.
Yeah, it turns out you can't have John following you around with a disclaimer board all times.
It's so bad.
All right, Derek, you got any other questions out there?
Yeah, let me see. I can't do too many
I know.
things at once. My brain will not allow. All right, so let's see. Why am I the only one doing this? I feel like everybody's staring at me. Everybody, even you out there.
Everybody.
No pressure there.
No pressure. I'm trying to find like a good question because there's great comments that I'm going through too. All right, let me find one from Jono Thinks. Hey, welcome. I haven't seen that name before, so thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Will Sony TVs be able to beat the buffering on Netflix when they air their next boxing match? I don't think that may not be an us problem. But JT, your thoughts?
Yeah, sadly, that's a little bit outside of our realm of control. But one exciting thing for us is being involved across so many sports. Like Larry was mentioning Hawkeye, but also there's a professional broadcast division, our pro division, is just to see how sports is evolving and on so many different platforms. So really exciting to see not only hopefully these buffering issues can be overcome in general, but just where sports broadcasting ends up in the next few years, because not only the technology we're supplying, but our partners, and then of course Hawkeye, Beyond Sports, all these amazing simultaneous broadcasts. It's been really exciting time to be a
Imagine
sports fan.
having like those multiple angles from all that. Oh, that'd be so cool.
It'd be like watching Creed, like on a boxing match.
Right.
It'd be like,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Every time you mention a title,
Oh, God.
I get real nervous.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
Maybe I should be treated like Larry. I shouldn't be here.
Can we get him a not a Sony employee shirt?
Yeah.
Just for safety?
Yes, just to
If we
state
could
those
just
of
put
you who
that
are
up,
new.
like right here.
Yes, just to state those of you who are new, Antoine is a special guest. He is New Stuff TV, a content creator that does a fantastic job. He does not speak on behalf of Sony because he is not employed with us. He's just hanging out with us.
Maybe I have my shirt to say "my bad."
You and Larry would have matching shirts.
Yeah.
This is true.
Oops.
Yeah, my bad. Oops.
Oh man.
All right, let's see. All right, next one. Lossless audio on Bravia Core planned? Question mark.
So Sony Pictures Core, we're really excited to work with them on kind of evolving this application. We've all seen kind of where it's come in terms of not only growing this amazing collection of IMAX enhanced content, but now also adding Dolby Atmos and kind of continuing to grow as well. So we are in active talks with them, but again, it's kind of leaning into the realm of speculating on future plans. But just stay tuned because it is a group we are very excited to work more closely with in the future.
You can almost read between the lines sometimes what JT says. He doesn't catch it. You just have to slide those lines a little part. Like, oh, okay. You know. Sorry.
No, I love it.
If you didn't catch it, I wanted to call it out. Go ahead.
Yeah, you draw attention to things that are supposed to not have as much attention. Yeah, well done. Well done. Oops.
That's what
So we got some folks watching this on the A95L. Is the best way to watch the after-hour sport. Thank you for watching. Appreciate all of you for being here again. And, again, throw in your comments if you have them. We are going to start wrapping up because it is late. But if we do miss your question, make sure that you send us an email or join after the fact. And you can put the comment in the video. Or we'll be doing this again on Wednesday, I believe.
We are doing it on
virtually.
Wednesday,
Larry
yes.
and I will be chatting so you can share any questions
Every
then
Wednesday.
as well.
Just send me a calendar invite this time, would you?
Ooh. Yes, you can answer all the
That's John.
Yeah,
John
there you go.
should be
Okay.
sending you a calendar invite.
possibly starring another guest.
I was starting to think it was on purpose.
No, not at all.
So I'll just answer this one really quick.
Not at all.
Any chance that a future version of the theater you will get Wi-Fi capability added to it to allow it to do uncompressed audio streaming over a home network?
I think Antoine has heard my line enough that he can insert that line for us.
I want that in print so I can rehearse it because y'all get that off. Y'all fire it off quick, like I don't know how to say it, but please.
We are unable to.
we cannot comment about or speculate about any future or unannounced products. Just understand that Sony is always looking to innovate and deliver on exactly what consumers are looking for. What we will do is take the information and the recommendation of a product feature to the respective individuals in hopes that we do meet your expectations in the future.
That is so good, but I'm just better at saying my bad. It's just sweet. It's simple. That is so good. I gotta rehearse.
But that's good. That keep those recommendations coming, guys, because we do oftentimes with JT more than us, but we do get an audience with decision makers that can look at future implementation to some features like that. Which obviously, you had a meeting with someone today to talk about some things, so that's awesome. Yep.
Very cool.
What? Okay.
I
Sorry.
actually think this is more fun with the microphone, just to be honest.
Yeah, because you're not holding it.
Yeah, this is enjoyable.
I feel like I need one of those little tiny hand wands though, just to hold it for me.
Yes. Yeah, some people tape it to like a spatula or something goofy.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Like a yardstick.
You know what this really is? This is way off topic, but now do you understand why I want us to get a boom mic? All right, there it is.
Put it in the guys.
Business
So
case.
funny, I was having that conversation earlier with someone else.
Business case. There we go. All right.
All right. So now, the question has arrived that we talked about earlier. Martin is asking. Well, he's not asking. He's making a comment politely. Please get the A95L update out in the UK.
Yes. So I think you have mentioned on the show before where we're run a little separately from the European division. And one of the reasons for that is with European, not only power regulations in terms of, I always get this backwards, it's not 220, it's 240, right?
It's 240.
They're 240.
They're 240. Also different broadcast standards, NTSC and PAL. There do have to be different software updates between them. I know the European team is busy at work on it, just they did identify some things they need to work on, just have our update adapted over to them. So it is something they're working on, so just stay tuned to their support page just for updates when they're ready.
They're like totally different TVs.
It is 220.
It's
220. Thank
I'm
you.
stuck on the XBR7.
Oh, that's right, yeah. 220 and 50 hertz.
50 hertz, yeah.
50 hertz, yep.
Yeah, it definitely is a different animal, for sure. All right, cool. We're almost caught up, and then we could probably wrap up. So,
All right.
we're almost
You're doing
there.
such a great job.
I'm trying. Thank you all for being here with us, and thank you for tolerating the insanity
Oh, man, this is
that we
good
have.
stuff. Wait till my book comes out.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, the tell-all.
Wait till my book comes out.
Yeah. He's going home thinking, man, I am so much more professional than those guys.
I mean,
Oh man.
not wrong.
Not wrong.
actually.
He's not wrong.
Any last questions you want to hit?
Yes, yeah, just a few here. So let's see. So I just want to make a comment here, though, too. SD had some comments, quite a few. I didn't call him out, so no offense. I did read them, but he kind of clarified here, was talking about how Sony has sort of blocked people from being able to adjust the backlight control on the A95L so that they would stop it from dimming. I'm sure there's reasons for that, right?
Yeah,
Well-
and for us, it all comes down to panel health. Whenever we're looking at kind of creating a TV, we analyze every possible potential issue coming up, but also trying to maximize performance. And for us, it's always the balance, kind of going back to what we're talking about in terms of longevity and protecting that panel, protecting that customer investment versus getting the most out of it. So in our own internal testing, working with engineers, they found that this kind of brightness limiting was the best in terms of the long-term health of the TV. And that's kind of where our approach is when it comes to that.
Makes sense. And I know that sometimes if you give people too much access to things, that could cause issues as well. And obviously, I've seen cases of people doing stuff that has actually ruined their set, and then it becomes well, now my TV's broken, what are you going to do about it? But that's why we kind of disable it. And I know there are going to be those people that really do understand the stuff, totally understand that you're like, hey, give me full control and I will take liability. I understand that. Why they want to block it off, I think that makes sense. I've never been part of those conversations, but ideally too, we just want to make sure that somebody doesn't accidentally do something as well. But you have a fair point, and it clearly, I know we've seen a lot of your comments, you clearly have a good understanding of the depth of this, and we do respect that. But it's kind of the decision that they made. So,
Yeah, I get it.
Cool. All right, let's see. Oh, here we go. Squeezing one last question in, and this is from like 8 minutes ago. So thank you for your patience if you're still here. For low bit content, leave reality creation in auto or manual, dial it up.
Again, it kind of comes back to the whole processing is kind of personal preference. Reality creation is a very intelligent system, especially when you pair it up with the XR processor. Because what's really unique about how we approach TV processing is it's not only using its own intelligent processes in terms of remastering clarity, color, contrast, motion, but it's also source intelligent. So not only source intelligent in terms of is this SD, is this 720, is this 1080, is this 4K, but also the bitrate or how it's coming into the TV. Because you can have a very, very compressed 4K source that's actually less data coming into the TV than a less compressed HD source. So automatic mode is kind of our general catch-all, but of course there will be personal preference. So if you prefer a little bit more processing, or perhaps a little bit less processing, that's where you'd want to go and kind of season to taste, I'll put it that way, instead of taking it off of auto. But auto is kind of our engineers' kind of best mode for kind of catching all types of content coming into the TV, and it is being source intelligent as well.
Nice, good answer. There was a question that was answered here, Michael Beckerman asking about like sort of combining MLA with QD-OLED, and sort of MLA was sort of the way to compensate for the deficiencies of WOLED to reach that brightness capability of QD-OLED. So Trey from Sony, thanks for joining too.
Hi, Trey.
Put some answers in there as well. It's like it's not really kind of needed being on a QD-OLED. So it was an interesting question. And then we'll kind of end with this, Antoine.
What you got?
You ready?
Maybe it depends.
Okay, I hope you're ready.
Okay.
Will Sony's 2025 new TV launch event be held during the first week in March?
What?
Well, you've heard our spiel of how we respond to questions like that. What are your thoughts?
Man, I gotta get this on print so I can memorize it because I want to nail it like they do. Okay, how does it start? Walk me through this.
I think it's Derek's turn. Derek hasn't done it yet.
You know what? I cannot confirm nor deny these allegations.
I don't think that's quite what it is, but
I think that's the wrong script.
Oh, okay, my bad. It's the wrong place. Okay, my bad.
Okay.
My bad.
sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I just wanted to, since we came across this quite a bit.
No, I'm going to answer it the way I'm going to answer it the way Derek would normally do it. Okay. I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah.
That's how Derek answers.
Would you like to see it
would
on
you like
that
to see it in
time? Would
March?
you like to see it tomorrow? Would you
don't
like
know.
to see it in September? You tell us, and then we'll.
Shall we take this in the cinema's coming home message and just say, stay tuned?
Yeah. Oh,
Stay tuned.
interesting. We might have something to say about it at some point in the near or late future.
I'm sure.
Sometime
Just waiting on
in
the phone
time's
call.
existence. Yeah. Cool. All right. So that kind of that wraps it up, I think, for the questions. So
Nice.
that was a lot. It's a lot of questions. So
This is fun.
So you know what? Can I say this? As Sony customers, we are lucky. This is, you know, I've hopped in and out of live streams before, but we are lucky that they're doing this because I don't see this happening with any other company or brand. It could be, I just haven't seen it. But this is great to have these guys tangible for you every week. You got a question, wait a couple of days, and they're going to be here, and they're just going to answer your question, or neither confirm nor deny whatever allegations.
Yeah.
But either way, they're here. You know what I'm saying? So that's awesome.
awesome,
I
yeah.
love that you guys do this.
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
And the reason why we're doing this is because they just don't know we're doing it yet. So as Derek always says, this is important. Let us know that you appreciate the stuff that we're doing here. And Antoine, that means a lot that you said that. Like the video, subscribe. We get tons of notes from you all expressing your gratitude for it. That means a lot for us. There are people, decision makers higher up that determine whether or not this ball falls all the way over here, but no, that determine whether or not we continue to do this. So we're trying to build up the value as much as we can so that we're not snatched off the air for some of the lines we cross.
Well, there is that. But this is extremely valuable.
That's
And I
cool.
hope this doesn't end up like one of those products we've talked about that were great, but nobody got to see it because I don't know, whatever.
It was released too soon.
It was released too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We had a podcast that was apparently released a little too soon, so
Man.
it'll be bad.
Well, we do plan on trying to continue this as long as possible, but ultimately it's going to come down to all of you, and of course you as well. Those of us, that in Sony, Larry and myself, and I know that we're starting to build more people that are like, wow, this actually is a really good way to get feedback. Whether it's something like a simple question, how do I do this with my product, or how I wish your product had this, or hey, I'm having an issue with this product. All that stuff is valid, and we want to do more.
Yeah.
And I know we talked a little bit about like Sony being an engineering company. It's like, how do we continue to push further with what it, whatever the technology happens to be? So the more we can bring in some of this feedback, the more value it adds to us doing this more frequently for all of you. And we can continue to share that information with the higher ups, the beings above that can make this stuff happen. So
You mean people that Antoine ended up in the elevator with by mistake today? A chance meeting?
Can't be doing me like that. No warning.
That's
Nothing.
That'll be in his tell-all book, how Antoine ended up in the elevator with the president and COO of Sony Electronics.
That's quite the experience.
just put you on the spot, huh?
Didn't know what to do at that point.
That's pretty awesome.
Send your hands up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
Speaking of Sony IP,
Yeah, for real. Well played. Well played. Well played. All right.
Yeah, so to just kind of wrap up again, it really helps the likes, subscribes, all that stuff, the comments, just the more that you can kind of show that you do like what we're doing, even if it's your first time here, subscription to the channel, it would be so awesome because it really shows that what we're doing and the plans we have, my goodness, we have more plans, and we will be not necessarily always us, but we're going to have more people live more frequently interacting with you directly. And we got a lot of cool stuff I think we have planned.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we'll be on in the near future, so make sure you hit the bell too. I don't know how that stuff works. I'm just here.
How does that work,
How does it
Antoine?
work?
How do you get people to subscribe?
You tell them, don't be that guy who just takes what you want and leave. Okay, you gotta subscribe. Come back for more. Come watch the guys and like and comment, because it all plays into the algorithm, and the algorithm keeps feeding you what you want.
I love it. If you don't already, make sure that you go subscribe to New Stuff TV and New Stuff TV 2.
Great information and entertaining.
Very much so.
So
There it is.
Awesome. Thanks everybody for being here. We appreciate all of you. Be well, be good to each other. Take care of yourselves, and join us next time if you can. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
And we'll see you.
Happy holidays. Peace. Oh, we're going to see you Wednesday, but peace.
Yeah. See you.